Good morning, everybody. Morning, Carlton. A couple of people I recognize, especially if you got your camera on, I can see who you are. That's awesome. Um, Thanks for coming today to Office Hours. We have received a couple questions, and so we're going to go through those that we have got. So there's a question going into kind of a deep dive into Smart Search, especially the newer version of it. So we're gonna go and do a little use case and build an example of a Smart Search result using our own website. Second set of questions we have, we're following around inside of how to build sitemaps out quickly. So if you wanted to upload and create a new website, small landing page thing, or maybe even a full-blown site, how do you do that really fast using Spreadsheets? And we're going to show you some techniques for doing that. And then a corollary to that, another question around renaming URLs, which is always, it's a question that comes up once a year. People have a better idea for their names of the URLs inside of the website, and they want to do something with that. And so rather than going in one at a time, we show you a way to do that with the spreadsheet, which is really quick, nice, cool power user trick. So those are the three questions. We also got another question related to preview links inside of when you're clicking on preview for any page inside the workstation. External links weren't working as expected, or actually it was by design, frankly, where we had disabled them. And we made a decision about a month or two ago to kind of re-enable that, to turn that back on. So we had a little internal debate and then discussed with a couple of clients and decided that, all right, even though there is some danger in people getting lost and confused inside of a preview by launching external links inside of a preview, we would turn that back on. So that is actually not really a question, but was just a feature that we re-enabled that had been disabled previously. Anything to add to that one, John?
No, I mean, you summed it up. It was something that we made a change for, and going forward, external links will work even from the preview screen.
To get that, you needed Titan version 7.4.
I want to say 11.
7.4.11 is when we released that, and or was that pushed into 7.3 if you had a 7.3?
That's a good question. I can confirm that while we continue on.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so the first set of questions, I assume everybody can see my Titan CMS screen. Is everybody seeing the screen I'm sharing down here? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Somebody nod their head. John, you can see my screen. Good.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So the first question we had has to do with Smart Search and kind of getting around and managing inside there. So here's I'm going to work with the Titan CMS website. So I'm going to go over to admin over here, up to the Smart Search module. And first thing I'm going to do is make this window a little bit bigger so I can see the indexes. And I'm going to work with the Titan CMS website because why not? So if I open that up, first of all, if I click on the main piece up on the top here, and forgive me while I just give you a little bit of reorientation tour. This is the graph of search engine traffic on the Titan CMS site for all time. I can select a different time range if I want up on the top, just for the last 60 days, and it'll show the ebbs and spikes of traffic, and all of the results down below here are also updated based on whatever the selected range is. And you can actually see the start date and end date of the last 60 days, last 30 days, so on and so forth. But the clear date range will give us all time, which is what I'm working with today. So I'll just work with the full set of data inside of here. So you can see how much traffic there was at any given time in all of the keywords. So these little cards below here are the same summary as what is being shown in the managed results tree up above over here. So I can see which words are managed. Right now, we have a number of them with a featured result. The star indicates it's a featured result. I think we have one down below here that's a card result. I'll show you that in a second. But I'm going to add the new type that we added in the latest version of Titan was called a freeform result. And I'll show you where that's going to come in handy in a second. So I can go to unmanaged terms and see that at this moment in time, this redirect 404 seems to be a popular search. We looked at this yesterday as we're preparing for office hours and decided that we did not have a really good page of content on the Titan CMS site. We have some on the documentation site in the documentation, but there wasn't a specific page on this topic. But 24 people have been searching for it. So that was something we were going to address today. So, and actually I can click this column over here and see that, yeah, that's our top search that is not managed. I don't have any results. So what shows up if somebody searches for 404 redirect? Right down below here, this is what they're going to see on the Titan CMS set. Redirect to another page following form submission, and that's not really, it is a redirect, but not the one that they're looking for. Using URL aliases, again, kind of tangentially interesting. But you can see that the fact that there's 0 impressions and 0 clicks on any of these is somewhat indicative of the fact that people searching for this aren't finding anything particularly useful on the search results. It also could be that we have statistics turned off, which is another possibility. But it looks at the moment like there's no impressions going on there. So this 404 redirect is a term that ought to get some attention on our site. Just for a couple quick tangents, here's some suspicious searches that have occurred on our site that we filtered out automatically, so none of these were allowed to go forward. Here's something that we actually, I think we're actually hiding the code that's behind this, but there's there was some JavaScript or CSS or something else malicious that was attached to some of these search phrases that was automatically filtered out. So we just wanted to show you that we're intercepting these things and making sure they don't go anywhere. Here's searches that show absolutely nothing. So somebody had searched our site for the word galleries. 4 people have searched that. And if I double click on it, you can see we have no results whatsoever. So searches without results, which is something you should be paying attention to on your site. What are people looking for where there isn't any result at all? Here's another one, 7.4, which is the latest version of Titan. Somebody types that in. 3 people have typed it in, including just as recently as March. We don't have results for that. So as with all good things, we got some work to do over here. And finally, all search terms together kind of in order. What's our top search SEO? Workflows there. All right, let's go back to the task at hand of managing a term. So I want to take the 404 redirect term, and we want to, it's currently unmanaged. So we're just getting a default search result over here, whatever DT search is coming up with. Not particularly good. So we can go back over here, and I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to say add a new search result. So I don't want any of these down over here. If there was one that I wanted, I could just double click on it, and I could say make that a featured result, done, and that one would pop up to the top of the list. But I don't want to do that because that's not the result I want to have. So I want to go action. I want to add a new result for something that doesn't exist already. And either I can pick a different page out of the site, so by going browsing, and now I'm bringing up the full tree, a page or an image or something. I don't want to do that either. I want to create a freeform piece of freeform content. So I want to create a freeform result over here. And I took the liberty of going into Titan admin, which I'm going to take you just a quick peek over there right now, and finding a page over here that was showing you how to manage it. It's under global parameters, general. John, am I in the right spot? Request handling. Nope, I lost John for just a second there.
I'm sorry, I got distracted.
No problem. I'm looking for that page where it shows where the 404 redirects are.
It's right under, yep, request handling.
Yep.
Domain config.
There it is, domain config, right. And so right over here, if for the titanclient.com website, you can see that the page not found URL is 404. So it's a little bit more technical. I'm not going to cover this today as to what this value is, et cetera, but it is handled over here. We do have a way of doing this. And this does say that if you get a 404 error, serve up this off nav page called 404.htm. So that is the page that whenever a 404 error occurs on a site, which is a page not found error, you're going to serve up this page. So I took a screenshot of this. Previously, I took the liberty of doing that. So let's go back over to Smart Search real quick. Oh, I'm sorry, in the wrong spot. We're going to go over to Smart Search. So I'll show you where I am one more time so we don't get results. I'm over here. I am on this 404 redirect term, unmanaged term. I'm going to action. I'm going to add a new result. And I'm going to go to freeform. So I'm back in the freeform editor. And I took the liberty of doing a screenshot of that yesterday as I was preparing for this. And I put it into the images folder inside of Titan, and I called it the 404 redirect image from admin. And I click done. And I can say, actually, the size of the image isn't going to matter at this moment because there's a style specifically applied to the freeform content in a managed search result that restricts the size of that image. You'll see that in a second. So as I pop it in here, I see there's a search result with an image and it altogether. And I'm just going to say 404 redirect for the moment. I'll fix this further in a second. So 404 redirect from Titan admin. All right, so let's save this. We're going to do some more work on this, but let me just show you preliminary what this looks like. So now I didn't hit save yet. So I'm going to go to the Titan CMS site. I'm going to search for redirect 404. Oops, redirect 404. And here's our boring page. So nothing useful came up. So now I'm going to go on to Titan admin. We're over here. Let me rearrange these for a second. And I'm going to hit save. So I just put this image inside here. So now for the, it's now a managed term. It's popped up to the top over here. It's got a different little icon. It says the redirect 404 is a freeform managed. So inside of there, it's going to serve up this redirect 404 page. So let's take a look. Let's go over here and search again, redirect 404. And sure enough, there's a featured result inside there, styled as our Sydney, I think, drew up a nice style for this one. Made it with a blue background, but as you can see, the image is a little bit small inside there. So let's do a couple more things to fix up this freeform content to make it a little bit more presentable. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this text up on the top over here. So if somebody had typed 404 redirect, I think it would be helpful if I gave them some text. And so I took the liberty of typing in some text into my text editor, which is, oh, there it is. It's buried behind you guys. You guys are in the way at the moment. Here we go. And I'm going to copy this out of my text editor over here, and I'm going to paste it into here. So when a user calls for a web page from their browser and the page doesn't exist, the server returns a page not found. This is what the technical people call the 404, blah, blah, blah. So I'm explaining a little bit more of what's going on. I'm clicking done. And now on that image, inside that page, I've got a little bit more text. Let's click done. Let's hit save. Going back over to search results, searching for 404 redirect one more time. And now you can see I've got some text. It's a little bit long and it's overlapping inside there. So this is a stylistic thing that the editors, that the CSS people could address to say they probably want to keep this up to a certain size. But the other thing I could do is I could probably trim this text back and just deal with it more directly, either on a direct link on the next link up where it offered. So I think in the meantime, since that's overflowing a little bit, I'm just going to clean this up and take that out of there. So I'm doing a little preview inside there. And I'm going to do one more thing. Instead of having this tiny image in there, I'm actually going to take this image and link it because I can do all the stuff I would normally do in a free form. I want to link it to
do a link instead. You're in the image.
Sorry. Yep, you're right. I clicked the wrong one. My bad. I want to go click here, click on link.
Yep.
And I want to link it to content. I'm going to browse, go to that same images folder where I was. Here's the same image conveniently at the top of my list. And I'm going to click done and say open a new window. And now I'm saving. So now that is actually a link. I've cleaned it up in a couple different ways. We're going to hit save. Go back over here and search for it again. 404 redirect. Oh, we still got that overlapping inside there. I wasn't doing that yesterday, John, so I'm not sure what's going on, but that's a CSS thing. So there's a stylistic thing. Not going to apologize. I'd call up Sydney. Hey, Sydney, this isn't displaying correctly. But if I click on this image right now, it pops it open. That's a preview from the Titan admin workstation. So obviously I could put whatever I want inside of here. All the standard things that are available inside a freeform editor are available to you to save as a normal freeform block. And you just have to work with your style people and say this thing's overlapping a little bit inside of the freeform editor over there, and then the CSS people would offer the fixes to make that look better. So any questions now on setting up a freeform result and patching it into the smart search results, finding an unmanaged term and patching it in so that creating a freeform result? give everybody a second to think about it while I take a sip of water. Okay. So the second thing we could do, in addition to a 404 redirect, is we could link it off to a specific page inside there. And you can see down in the bottom over here, 7.2 is a card result. And that is where we have picked a specific card, a specific page inside that already exists inside of Titan, Titan's 7.2 vision enhancements, and you can serve that up. And so in this particular case, if 7.2 is already in there, and if I wanted to see what's going on, I can double click on it, and here is the page that is being served up. So if I don't like this page, then I could remove this result, go up to actions, it's selected down below over here. I could say remove that. I would click there, and then that page would disappear. But otherwise, if I don't like the content that's over here, as opposed to editing it directly inside of Smart Search like I just did with the freeform block, freeform result option, I would just go over to this page here, pop and open a window, etc., and it's going to drop me into Titan, into that page, and show me where we are. So it's in the off nav section over here, and it has selected. If you scroll down, it'll show you which page has been selected. That's a nice new enhancement. So it doesn't necessarily scroll you down right away, but if you scroll a little bit, it'll show you exactly where you are in the tree. And so then I could do Titan CMS 7.2 and 7.4, 7.2, comma, 7.3, comma, and 7.4 version enhancements. And so, yeah, I could change this content right now, edit it all up, and make this card more universal, or probably more effectively add a Titan 7.3 and a 7.4 card over here, where I then link them off maybe to the version enhancement section of the site. So a bunch of different options, but that's a card. So now I'm serving up a small piece of content that I'm going to maintain outside of Smart Search, not in a freeform block directly inside of Smart Search, but elsewhere in my content tree, and probably in an off nav section someplace where I build up the content myself. So, so those are the two different types of things. Let me go back to the managed terms again here and say 404 redirect. One of the cool things that we have added in Smart Search in 7.4 is the ability to add additional terms. So I can say 404, if somebody searches for 404 or 404 redirect, or how to redirect 404 pages, and these are all terms that someone in the Titan search log has typed in previously. And we have done a little bit of artificial intelligence to be able to scan through there and find patterns of words that are similar enough to be able to pull them up and drop them in here. So now all of these terms, if I hit save, are all linked to that same search result that I just built with the freeform editor, this one right down here. And so if I go back over there, I hit save. If I go back and now I search for just 404 all by itself, I should get that same search result. And I do. Okay. So all of this makes available. These are terms that somebody has been searching for. And we have now enhanced our managed results so that if somebody's searching for Titan 404 redirect errors, they're getting a better search result. So this is, as we kind of preach a little bit, this is something that you should be doing on a regular basis, is coming in here and checking how many unmanaged terms do we have? How many people are searching for something? Oh my God, secured pages, editing, multiple block settings. 16 people have searched for that, including somebody as recently as February. So how do we take a look at that? All right, what else do we, as long as we're in here, Smart Search, what other things should we be showing people about?
Any of those filters are good ones to talk through. I mean, all search terms, that's more of a log, right? So, and I think they're sorted. Oh, they're sorted right now by number of searches. But if you did last search, then you could get a rundown time-wise of everything people have been searching for, throughout the day or over the last, month or so. You can also make those adjustments with the filters at the top to get them into a narrow range, right? So if you said select range, let's just look at, last 30 days or so. If you just want to narrow in on a certain window of time, you can do that very easily now.
You also have an option for different views over here. We only have the search log view, but if you wanted, you could create a different set of parameters inside here. The search
Mhm.
phrase, and you could create different views. So here are all the different things that could be added to a personal or a global view that everybody. Same thing you can do on the main admin screen. So phrase, use results, log date, the same parameters that are available over there can be rearranged. And as usual, as always, we can download these results. There's no upload here because that wouldn't make any sense. But you can download this stuff if you wanted to show your crew who's doing the content management or somebody that's given occasional responsibility for smart search. Here's the list of terms that aren't being managed well, and you can get that all in the spreadsheet, which we'll be going into a little bit in a second.
If you clear out the date range now, yeah, clear date range. And then back on the tree side of things, we added that suspicious searches filter. That one, I remember that was a one we had to add because we were starting to see in client environments a lot more content that looked like it was getting filled in by a bot or somebody trying to potentially do something like an injection attack or something through the search bar. And they were coming up during the upgrades, and some of them were causing problems, and we were able to identify those and raise them up to the users. So you could come in here and now clean these up, see things like that might look suspicious, or nefarious in some way, and you can select the ones you want and remove them from your smart search, so they're not cluttering up your other views and giving you grief.
Okay. Unmanaged terms is, again, this is the place where you should go mining first. I would click by number of searches and take a look over here and say how many people are searching for a certain topic and do we have good content to address it. So 404 redirect tutorials seems to be a whole bunch. We don't have any videos on that. So here's again our default stuff. So I didn't add this in there because I don't think that's what they're looking for, even though after today, I think what we will do is at least I don't know if this would fit in there. Well, maybe the next office hour somebody asks us how to create a 404 and we'll go through that whole create the page, create the redirect, put it in the admin, and show you how to do all that. So that could be, and then we'll make a video of it and we'll have an answer to that question.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're thinking starting with unmanaged terms is like step one in going through a smart search process, I would say going back to previously managed terms and your managed results is also a good idea because, like we just learned, there could be new search requests, maybe different misspellings of a phrase that now could apply to an existing set of smart results, and you would want to draw those keywords in also so that they bring people to the same featured results or card results or whatever.
Yeah. So if we look at SEO as our most popular term here, so people have typed it. So here's what we're showing. So let's double check this. It's SEO features inside it. Yeah, that seems pretty good. That's a key feature. Properties overview, content best practices.
But yeah, and under the section where do you want to link any of these phrases?
Yeah.
Because those are going to become new and fresh, as people do more searching on your site. So if you come along and say, oh, hey, somebody spelled SEO like SOE or something, they accidentally, inverted some letters, you might want to include those common misspellings then if you see that happening a lot.
Okay. All right. If there's no questions from anybody, and again, if you don't want to unmic yourself or unmute yourself, feel free to just type something into the chat. It looks like we have one chat. I didn't pop it open.
Oh, that was me. I
testing.
clarified
Right.
for everybody that asked about the external links that yes, there was a fix that was put out for 7.3 and 7.4.
Got it. Okay. So the second question we got was related to and we're going to go into the dev workstation over here, was related to quickly creating a new site. So if you wanted to create a new site, and I created one yesterday called demo for today's purposes. So I went into admin. I won't repeat the process, but it's pretty quick. I went into content sites over here. I went up to the top. I went create. I typed in demo. I copied a couple things from the current public site in the demo thing. So it would have some properties and some attributes all set to go. But this one's all pre-populated. It's got a default set of tags. I set up the URL alias. I don't think I had to configure too much. We just copied a couple other things from the previous public site and set a couple parameters up. So that wasn't the purpose of the conversation. But if I did have, I wanted to make a new globe, pretty straightforward process of what happens there. Then I went over to the content site over here, and I went into the demo site, and you can see it's empty. There's nothing in there. There's no tree or anything else like that. So how do if I had I wanted to rough in a landing page or a mini microsite for some campaign purposes, or build a department page or something else like that. How would I do that? And the answer goes into, let's bring up some search results over here. Nope, wrong one. Let's bring up number 11. I want to bring up 11, this one. All right, so what I did is I took the liberty of creating actually, in order to create this and to get the headers correct, because these headers have to line up correctly in order for this to work. They have to be the correct names, the correct spelling, with the correct uppercase, lowercase. The easiest way to do that is just to download an existing site for the default view in Titan, just export it, etc., and then clean it all out, delete everything except the first line. Or maybe you leave this first and second line in as a little example of what to do. And then I just said, all right, demo site, that's actually the page that already exists. No problem, I can leave it in here. And then I just typed in /demo, about us, product, services, and I called services in the workstation, I called services, but online I called it our services. About us, some history, careers, events, workshops, office hours. I just made up some stuff over here, and I said, this is my new mini landing page, mini campaign website. I want to have all of these pages created. I don't want to have to sit and click and click and click and type and click and click. I just want to put in a spreadsheet, eyeball it. Yep, this is all correct, etc. So this is Titan results 11. And I hit file save, and I go back over to Titan CMS. I go to the demo site, I select it, and I click upload right here. And I go and I browse to my hard drive, and Titan results 11 is right there. So I remember the name of it. That's always handy. I bring it in, and it says, okay, I'm seeing these pages, and you can create a 1,000-page website if you want from here. And we're going to rough in everything that we saw over here in the workstation, the long name, short description, teaser, URL. And I'm going to add and update all. And actually, I don't want to skip workflow. I want to actually publish these immediately on this particular case. And the reason I'm going to do that is otherwise it's in a pending state. And you'd see a little yellow flag on each one of them. And I'd have to do another step of clicking each one or selecting all and publishing right after I did this. So I'm just going to skip having to do that rigmarole. And we are going to click upload. And it's going to churn through those records inside the Excel spreadsheet and tell me that everything was done successfully. And now under the demo site, I have created an About Us and a history under About Us and events. I've got office hours and workshops. I've created an nav tree, and I am ready to go and put content on any one of these pages. If I was doing this, great, I would do add content, and I would open the library, and I would go into the online templates, or I would have created some content previously, and I could then start dropping blocks onto these pages and make it look real pretty. So hopefully in your site, you're taking advantage of this library and building out global blocks inside of here that are consistent with your style, brand standards, and the ways you'd like to lay out content. And so putting a new site together using a little spreadsheet to rough in what your sitemap is with all your long, short descriptions, meta tags. What are the other properties, John, that could be added in here in order to, on the create site, what are the other things that could be put in here?
Well, I think it should accept any of the fields that you would normally find in the SEO properties view. In addition to that, probably display order is the other one that people would commonly use. You want to control the order, so it's not just the alphabetical order based on the page name. You want to say, well, I want history to be first, like services to be first, and then about us to be last. And you could set that all and establish the display order column. But I think it should accept. I'm trying to think. page title probably is one that it will take because that's an SEO property.
Yeah.
So yeah, and to Pat's point before, if you use the SEO properties view from the workstation and then download that, then you'll have all those headers established for you in your spreadsheet, and you can fill it in.
So a couple questions. If I were to do this again, and change some of this stuff, what about these other pages? Is it overwrite them and delete them, or replace them?
No, it actually it's not so much a replacement, but establishing a new version for each of those. That page URL is the way that we know what doc ID to update. So the system will find /demo.htm, realize it's doc ID, I don't know, 10. And then it'll, for doc ID 10, it'll build up the update. This is my workstation name, this is my long description, this is my page title, yada, yada, yada. And it will save all of those configuration changes for that page. If it doesn't find it, then it makes an assumption. It says, oh, I got one here that I don't know about. I'll just add it. That's where the distinction in the grid, add only versus add an update. Add only will look through your spreadsheet and say, I don't recognize these 4. Those are the ones I'm going to work with because those are add new content. But add an update is going to say, oh, hey, I added some, but now you got these ones that I can map to an actual doc ID. I'm going to update those.
Right. So if I pull that file up, what John's talking about is all these features down over here.
Yep. So yeah, the nice thing about that is, if you have a large spreadsheet, and a lot of this, I think, leans back on the data site type uploads. If you have a large spreadsheet that you use to manage all of your data site content, it's a convenient way to add just the new stuff versus going through and making checks to see if there's anything to update on any of the ones in there. You can streamline your process quite a lot by saying, yeah, I'm only doing ads, so find the ones that are new versus an update.
So another thing people ask is, what happens if I delete workstation name? If I don't have that in there, will that delete the workstation name?
Nope. The nice thing is, if it doesn't have data, it doesn't know what to change. And that grid that you were showing before, Pat, that is your guideline to know what's getting processed during the upload. If you have the grid here and you take out that workstation name column from your spreadsheet and then choose to upload it again, it'll show you a grid, but it won't include workstation name because it wasn't in the file. And we only change the things that are provided.
Yeah. And so in this case, I typed the word display order and I saved it, but obviously that's not the correct name, so it just ignored it.
Nope, I think that's correct. I think you didn't actually choose clear and then upload the new file.
Well, let's try that again. Clear. And so upload again. You have to clear each time. Probably a good tip. There it is. Display order. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so, I mean, to that point, let's say you typed in display order. I always type the word display wrong when it's
yeah.
But if you type it wrong, we're not going to be able to, understand that column. We don't have a column called display order in our system, so it will not appear in the grid, and then you might have the realization, hey, what happened to my display order? I thought I filled that in. Well, then you can go back and double check your spreadsheet and see where the spelling mistake was and go from there.
Okay. All right. So very nice feature. All right. So the last kind of question on the same concept is, what happens if I 3 months from now or tomorrow decide that I want to change the names of the URLs? In fact, I've got a little spreadsheet here. Let's open it up. I think it's spreadsheet 12. There it is. Where I want to change products to new products and events to better events, or events to updated office hours, etc. And the answer, I'll take John's outline here, is to create this single, you have a page name, page URL, and new URL. These are the only fields that are required. Is even page name even required?
Nope.
Nope.
The only two that are required are page URL, so we
Yep.
know what to update, and new URL, so that we know what to update it to.
So you take whatever you created previously, and you say products is going to become new products. These are all going to stay the same. Events is going to become better events. Office hours is going to become updated office hours. And so with spreadsheet 12, I can go through and in bulk rename everything inside of the tree. I'm going to hit save over here. And we're going to go back into Titan. I'm going to do upload. I can't change these names over here using this process, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but then I could do later on in the other sheet, I could
Yep.
change all the other parameters, but not the URL. So the URLs we're treating as a very special case because it's kind of messing with the primary key of how we identify all these pages. So the URLs need to be unique. And so I'm going to go upload and I'm going to pick spreadsheet number 12. So I'm working with here. That's got all those names. And it sees it, it parses it correctly. It sees the page URL, new and old. And in this case, I'm going to add an update all. Once again, I'm going to publish immediately, which is going to create some redirects for me. I'll show you that in a second. We could click upload. And now it has gone through. And we have, in theory, let's see, where is the ones that I renamed? I think workshops.
Office hours.
Updated
Yep.
office hours has now been updated. That was
Products was another
office
one.
hours. Better events is what I called events. Is now called better events over here inside the system, and products is called new products. So if I come over here to products, I got new products, etc. And if I look at new products and I look at the properties inside of here, we can see that it also created a URL alias for the old name. So that is preserved. So we not only got it a new URL name, but the old one still works. Now you can remove this if you want, but by default, it's going to preserve the old name, which means that there's the implication here is that I've called it new products now. I cannot independently create another page inside of here called products with that exact URL because it would be in conflict with the alias for what I've renamed the other one. So you have to be a little bit more thoughtful. If you're going to want to reuse this, have a new products and an old products page, you might want to call this old products, or if you're going to just name it products, then you're going to have to delete it as an alias over here. And you're going to get an error when you try to create that page. It's going to say this page already exists. And you go, what? I don't see it in the tree. And then you're going to have to remember that it's an alias inside the system. All right. So any questions on that process? Any chats, etc.? And from coming out of that, are there any tangential questions of capabilities or anything else that might be on your mind today? So we can open up the floor now to whatever you're curious about the things we showed, the questions that have already been asked, or anything else that you might have. All right, I'll give everybody a minute, and if not, then John and I will go back to drinking coffee and continue on with our other academic pursuits at the end of office hours today. All right, I don't see any chats or conversation. So thanks everybody for coming. We'll make these videos available as training videos, both on the Smart Search usage and setting up a freeform block inside of Smart Search, as well as the how to create a whole sitemap using a spreadsheet and how to rename URLs using a spreadsheet as 3 separate videos. And we'll put them on the Titan CMS website, create a Smart Search results for all 3 of them, and make these available for you all. So thanks for coming today.